This is a message to the young lady that literally just broke up with me. I don't want you out there painting that narrative talking about I never loved you because I called you some very horrible names, but I want you to realize that you hurt me. I do apologize for calling you them names, but you really hurt me. And like when I first met you 7 months ago, I knew I met my wife. You had a son, I had a daughter, and like when I first seen you, you was one of the most beautiful women I ever seen in my life. And like as soon as I met you, started talking to you, I knew this is what love was. It's been a long time in my life where I felt like that before. And you made me feel complete with my daughter and your son. I loved your son like he was my son. And today, I just felt like my whole life was ripped apart. Like, you let people disrespect me. Not once have I disrespected you. And ever since I started expressing my feelings about how I felt and how you made me feel, all of a sudden, I was the problem. I don't care about that. I just wanted you to see that you was hurting me. And then you gonna break up with me because you say you can't love me properly or I require too much. I require too much because I just want to be treated like a man, and I just want to be labeled as a man. And like I loved you with every bone in my body. I did stuff for you that I never thought I'd do for other woman. I felt things about you that I never felt about any other woman in my life. And like, the only thing that I ever wanted in my life was to have a family. This is your second time breaking up with me. The first time is because I loved you too much. You wasn't ready for that type of love. And me as a man, honestly, that's what I feel like I'm really good at. And I know how to love you properly. I tried so hard to love you. And like, I should have saw the sign that you probably did not feel the same way from the beginning. But I thought that I could make you feel that way about me. But I don't want you out here painting this narrative like I never loved you. Because all I did was love you. All I wanted to do was just have a family with you. I do apologize for calling you them names, but I just wanted you to hurt the way that you hurt me. And like, and I know I might be crazy to think this, but I still do have love for you. And like, all I ever wanted was a family. And when I first saw that, I saw that with you, your son and my daughter. I've been working so hard trying to make ends meet. I feel like the world is like giving up on me. Sometimes, like I'm just trying my best out here. And sometimes I feel like my best is not good enough. I've been trying for years.
Excuse me, miss. Is that your man? Are you guys happy?
Married.
That's good. Can I use your pen? Here's my number. Take it. Just in case. What you doing, JT? Not all that he seems.
Just in case it's not what it should be. Oh, baby, keep my number by your side. And when you wanna call me, don't think. Oh, just in case a fool set you free. Come to me.
like you're holding me. Squeeze me tighter, baby. How do I feel? Good, huh? Just in case you have any second thoughts, I'm gonna leave you with this.
Baby, come back to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. J.T. Matthews.
I watched this clip, and I saw it on Shizu Zed's channel. You know, shout out, fair use, by the way. He does a TikTok video. I saw this video, right? And I knew that I wanted to use it for my imprint Simp TV, all right, for obvious reasons, all right? But, you know, more importantly, I really wanted to help this guy, you know. He touched my heart, you know, in a way I can't explain it, but I know that many of my listeners understand, you know, what this gentleman is going through. All right. Now, you know, I want to help this guy because I understand this guy. And a lot of you do, even whether you want to admit it or not. Some of you are going to be dicks and, you know, call him a simp and, you know, shit on him and shit for crying. And you don't understand what it's like to grow up in a, you know, some of you do, but you're going to hide your own bravado. All right, you're not going to be true to yourself and admit that you understand this guy more than you want to. Okay? Now I don't know how he grew up. You know, he could have grew up in a nuclear family. He could have grew up in a single parent household and shit. I hear that bandied about all too much and shit without actually giving the person in question any decent advice, right? And you know, the first advice obviously is like, uh, don't cry in don't cry in front of a woman. Okay, all right? No, it sounds crazy and shit, but that's the first thing I'll tell them. You know, I'll say, stop crying, man. Stop crying. Get your shit and let's go. Okay, you got to get out of her sphere. Okay, this guy is the victim of emotional violence. Okay, emotional violence. Right? There's no precedent for that. You know, there's no checks and balances for being in a relationship with a malignant narcissist. Okay, which is what this guy's obviously going through and shit. And I hazard a guess that, you know, the female in question probably saw this and had a real good laugh with her current lover. Right? It's painful to say, but, you know, probably true. Right? No one gives a fuck about you. No one's coming to save you. And the first thing you need to learn is to stop falling on your damn sword. Now, most of the time you see men in this, like, kind of a state, they start blaming themselves, okay? Especially in our community and shit. We always blame ourselves. You know, whether women believe it or not and shit. We say, hey, you know, what did I do? Why was I lacking? You know, why couldn't she just be honest and get out of the relationship before stepping out of it and shit, okay? And this guy did everything wrong and shit. He took in a single mother. He had a blended family and shit. He worked hard. He squeezed blood out of a rock, and he probably more than likely barely got anything from her, much less any physical intimacy. All right, while she was living her best life on his dime and his time. There's no checks and balances for that shit. You know, sometimes I offer a funny anecdote and shit, but I just can't do it with this clip, looking at this guy crying and shit, because he feels like it's the end of the world and shit. And the only reason that he feels that way is because he's been in a malignant relationship with a narcissist for an extended period of time and shit. And all he can perceive is the world that she created for him, the world that he helped her build and shit when he put all his hopes and dreams into her. All right? I don't know what she looks like. I don't need to know what she looks like. You know, she might be quite fetching, or she might just be a run-of-the-mill basic biatch and shit. You know, you see it from all walks of life. I've seen this shit a lot, you know, in my 50 plus years. And I know how he feels and whatnot. He feels like it's the end of the world. You have to feel like it's the end of the world and shit, you know, to get online and put your business out on the streets like that. You know, this is his last ditch effort. If she calls him up and tells him to come over, he'll run there. He'll happily run there. And he'll be ready to do anything she wants. And she may do that at some point and shit. They do to reach back quite often, especially a lot of these narcissists, these sociopaths, these malignant sociopaths, criminally insane, people. They like doing a reach back and doing the hey big head call. Don't take that fucking call. Okay? And if by chance you meet them in public, give them the business. I'm not saying being mean or nothing. Just be real dismissive and shit. Keep your energy to yourself, whatever that means to you. Okay? I'm not here to talk about any kind of new age remedies and shit. I want this guy to know that he is not alone out there. All right? No one is coming to save your ass. Okay? So you need to dry your tears up and shit. Pack your shit up and keep it above. Keep moving. Get your kid and you guys make a life for yourself, even to your own detriment if you're not ready to go. But I'm pretty sure she came to live in this house. It's gonna be hell getting her out of the house and shit. So, from the point that you find out you're fucked, okay, you need to go through the courts and file a proper eviction to get her out of your house, okay? And most of the time they monkey branch when they know they got a sure thing and shit. Especially if they got a kid. If you get a raggedy ass female doing a monkey branch with a kid and it's not a sure thing, basically solely on her peace sleeve and shit, that's a dangerous woman you don't need around anyway. Okay, you file a proper eviction and you clean up all her shit and you put it, give it to her, or you give it to her parents, or you put it in a storage unit for a period of time and shit. And, just pay for like a couple of weeks or a month, put all her shit in a storage unit. She can go pick it up. You can mail her the key or something, FedEx her the key, send a priority mail, and go about your business with yourself raising your son. And make sure that you and your son get therapy, okay? You need therapy, man. Okay, the reason I'm saying you need therapy is because you're on social media. You're on social media, bearing your soul to the world and shit. And this shit never goes away. It's there forever. It's there forever. You can never take this back. Okay. In the future, you're gonna be with another woman and shit. She's gonna do the same fucking thing to you because I'm looking at you right now and I see a victim and shit. Okay. Anybody else can see a victim when they look at you. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use this for my simp TV imprint and shit. I'm gonna use it for that because I need to. The purpose of this show, is not just to drag simps and bootlicks and shit and female tampons and shit. It's to impart some kind of assistance or help or some advice. Okay, you're crying, man. You're sitting in your car. You got your collared T-shirt on and shit, and you going to work, and you ain't gonna be able to work. You ain't gonna be able to function and shit with this mess in your head. And you got a kid you got to take care of, so you can't like take a leave of absence, or maybe you can for a week or two and just get the fuck away from her and shit. I would advise you to take your kid and like go to a hotel for a couple of days or something. And she gonna do nothing but probably bang her new guy up in your house and shit, and probably vandalize the fucking place and shit. And you just file a police report if she does that. But you go through the courts, you file a proper eviction to get her out of your house. You make it known to her, text her or whatever to get an eviction. If she don't respond to that to leave your house, you can have the sheriffs, give her that, shit, and you can legally put her stuff in, outside the door and go about your business. You ain't gotta be violent about it or nothing. I would advise you to seek therapy for you and your child, individually and collectively. And I want you to, we'll do the Nixon, okay? Deny, deny, deny. Act like this shit never happened, okay? Get rid of every fucking picture of her, okay? Block her on social media, okay? You tell a good friend, hey, I'm gonna get out of my social media for a while and shit. I'm gonna just live my life off the grid, okay? Don't go looking at her photos, okay? She may send you some pics. A lot of these women, they get their validation from your pain and suffering, okay? And they count on you throwing yourself on your sword instead of saying what it is, okay? You were grifted, right? This is a con game and shit. A lot of women, in this day and age, especially in the West, a lot of women still have certain instincts that they can't overcome. Okay? We talk about masculinized women all the time, but we forget that there's an underlying feminine hypergamy that goes hand in hand with that especially in our ethnic community. They do have the need to, at some point in their lives, find a safe and secure place and make a nest in your fucking house. Okay, it's a nest. And she brought her child there. And at some point they're gonna edge your child to the periphery like a cuckoo bird. Okay, I'm pretty sure you look that up. Okay, that's a species of bird that likes to place their eggs in other birds' nests and have them raise that bird. And then when that bird is born, you know, it kills the host's actual, offspring and shit, and then takes their place. All right. I'm just saying, don't be mad at the guy that's fucking her. Okay, he's not getting any better of a deal than you got at some point and shit. Okay, I'm pretty sure she love bombed the shit out of you, and she bangs you so hard, man, repeatedly and shit, and you got to see her naked all the time and enjoy her body and her love bombing and shit, and maybe she gave you some gifts and stuff. I think like the less of physically appealing they are, the more you're liable to get swag and shit, like gifts, like game consoles, or video games and other shit, clothes and watches, and the uglier they are. The prettier are, the less they feel like doing and shit. If they're with you, they're slumming and shit. Especially since we see you in your car crying like a bitch. You have to stop that, man. You have to find what your masculinity is, okay? I can tell you to be unapologetically masculine and selfish and shit, but it's up to you, You have to make that decision, and you have a son. All right? Your son is gonna follow in your footsteps if you don't get your shit together, okay? It's bad enough that when we have children and shit here in this country, in the West, that they're automatically given over to the women to be the stewards, and no woman can teach a boy how to be a man. Okay, they don't have any point of reference for that. Okay, everything they reference is what they feel masculinity is from an external. It's from an external source and shit, and it's based on their perception of it. And if they're a malignant misandrist and a narcissist and shit, uh, you can just kiss your kids' minds and their spirits goodbye. Okay? It's pretty much a fucking lost cause. And you got to reclaim yourself. Okay? You got to find it. You got to reach down and clutch your fucking pearls. Okay? I don't want you to be angry, but it's okay to be angry and shit. But when I hear you on this fucking, when I hear you in this clip, apologizing for insulting a woman that hurt you to the core of your being after you put yourself out there and you went out on a limb and shit to make a blended family with her and shit, and she fucks around on you and shit and leaves you hanging and shit. And she dumped you more than one time. The first time she dumped you, you shouldn't have came back. I know you heard that already, and I'm sorry for repeating it. But sometimes you have to repeat this shit. You have to get into your head. It's okay. There are other women out there. There's more women on the face of the planet than men. Okay? And I'm not telling you to go out and find some kind of rebound relationship. In some cases, I would advise you to, find a woman to lay up with and shit just to kill that, invisible cord, just to cut that cord by substituting it with. But I wouldn't advise that for you. You're in dire straits. All right? She's not the be all end all of shit. I know you have the mind movies. A lot of men that are cheated on, they have these fucking mind movies. It's horrible. You can't really explain it to someone. You have to, a lot of people who've been cheated on, men and shit, they understand what we're talking about. The mind movies where you see them with the other person. Whether you don't, even if you don't know what they're like, your mind will create a construct, and you will see an image of them banging, having a good relationship, laughing, and the guy has more to you, and they're living happily ever after. While you're nothing. You feel like nothing. You feel like a speck in the universe, and it makes you want to do something drastic and shit. Don't do that. Okay? I advise you to follow the mode that I suggested. Get rid of everything, file an eviction and shit. Get therapy for you and your child, individually and collectively and shit. And keep it a buck and act like she was never even fucking around. I don't know how old your son is, but you and your son need to come to an agreement that you're going to be unapologetically masculine and kick it, okay, and keep it moving and shit, okay? There's other women out there, okay, and once you get past those things, maybe you can go out and whatever means necessary, have get some pussy or something, like, get a flashlight. I don't know what to tell you, get a passport, go to one of these countries and bang one of these prostitutes that look like a goddamn porn star or something. You got to kill it, man. You got to kill her hold over you. Okay, what you experienced is part of a lower brain function. Yes, sex and everything, but it is the lower brain function. It serves a purpose. It's why back, in olden times before we had the modern world, uh, marriage was sacred. Okay, everybody was heavily vetted before they were paired together. Shit, we don't have that anymore. Now, I think the behavior of modern women suggests that we shouldn't take them all that serious and shit. We should just consider their most holiest of holies a fucking hole. Okay? Makes sad to say that, right? I'm in my early 50s, bro. And you're living in an age where everything is disposable. And because of that, the only advice that I can honestly give you is to, save yourself, black man. SYSBM.
This message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.